one of those situations where they were just going to save anyway, where even if Belchanok got maybe 1 or 2 more kills, they still weren't going to go for it.
Well, Frost will post up for exits. Joffo's having none of that. Quadra in this round. What's a performance from him? Now looking to try and usurp. Jerry is the bottom fragger of the server. And such major impact from him in this kind of a round, giving Zero Tenacity a lead once again against Paravision. So the T sides come together this time.
Another aspect you kind of got to remember is that obviously Joffo was the B player in the first half, and a lot of the time he was down on MP9s when everyone else was down on M4s. I saw a lot more A attack as well, so no surprise that he hasn't been able to provide as many of the kill counts as what we've seen previously. Paravision, though, will kind of look at this situation in the second half and think, oh, 1 pistol, 1 anti-eco, we should really be holding on to the lead, but that's not the case now.
Another set of upgrade pistols and the M4, of course, for Kiko, that was saved as Paravision try and build back into another buy in the next. Very similar story as well towards his boost position over here over at the Woodball. Zero Tenacity. Working their defaults carefully as standard. Don't want to run into the stacks, don't want to run into a stolen round for Paravision because we've seen how quickly momentum shifts against them. At least they've got cash in the bank, so they can afford reinvestments if things go awry. Ideally, however, they want to keep as many alive.
Zero Tenacity working out towards Connector, and a flash out from the Monster perspective makes them clear out the majority of short water. And Belchanok is not going to get much of a helping hand. Nade Stack was almost looking to get set up towards a monster wall, but he starts evading it with the reposition.
And starts to rotate to join the A plays. They do go full gamble on the site, and that might be the right call to make because the bomb's still out there in mid. There is walk contact coming out of Monster for the likes of Avans. They might call a last second rotate, or they could just pull them all for a loop. CTs have backed away from the A bomb site entirely, except for Patsy and his P250. Seeing Molotovs, Belchanok has caught Avan. Patsy is going to hide. So advantage in the man advantage taken away by Paravision. This smoke towards long will clear. Patsy's caught, so back to a 4-on-4.
Belchanok and the M4 try to come out from bank, but the crossfire is too strong against it.
Yeah, the man just saved Joffo there. Kicker dropping latest 4-on-2. Art Frost just need to hold on to the M4. Jerry might stick around for an exit, but that rifle needs to keep in play. For 10 on the board of Z10. Paravision aren't spooled together a CT rifle round. Second half concerns once again cropping their heads up for the CIS squad. 2 to the good, 3 to the win. Zero Tenacity trying to nip this in the bud.
And Ash, the head coach of Gamer Legion, put out a content piece about a week ago about how a single smoke allowed them to beat Virtus Pro on LAN. Now, Zero Tenacity threw that exact same smoke. From the perspective of Paravision, the one good counter around that lurk smoke, it's the smoke that kind of lands to the flower pots at the front side of Banana, is that they had a boost at signpost, right? So you're actually looking behind it. You can actually spot if anyone's walking up that Banana entrance. The issue is, with 30 seconds on the clock and the boost not seeing anything, and you had Brute Monster and Avan throwing nades out to the B side, the tell instantly for Paravision's perspective is that they're trying to do the lurk smoke, but it's a B end. We haven't seen anything. And they just get caught over-rotating completely. So very good lurk smoke from Zero Tenacity and very good B distraction.
Well, now the rifles come into the fold for Paravision. This is where the challenges return. Zero Tenacity to win this one, however, will set themselves up on map, match, and group point. Incendiary's held, kicker, first man forward, Namana naded out to damage up against him. He still lands the headshot, kicking things off for Zero Tenacity, and that might send them right in. Flashes are sent, Beltranov is fully blind. Simki turns it down to 3 players on Paravision's side. Namana's going to keep himself suppressed back towards short as his teammates focus on the execution. Brute with a team Molotov on Avon. Damage has been done towards several CT players, one of which is extremely close at water, caught by Joffo. Patsy and Artfrost make their moves up. The M4's caught by the AWP. The AWP's caught by the AK as Artfrost on 17 points of health is out of the round. Zero Tenacity. T-side strength has been found.
And sometimes in CSJ, you just got to drop the gloves and fight. And I love that from Zero Tenacity. We've had an overpass from the perspective of the first half and the second, where it's been quite slow, right? We haven't seen a lot of aggression. And instantly for Namanha, it's a fairly aggressive maneuver out there from short water. But as soon as he capitalizes on that first fight, as soon as he wins out that first duel, it's an instant explosion. They send it out to Monster. They get fast into B. It's chaotic. It's pacey. There's util everywhere. And it catches the CTs completely off guard.
Remember a similar round from Paravision when they were about to break Z10's economy on the first half as well. Kind of makes you wonder why we were so worried about T-sides on this map. Both teams have shown proficiency, but Zero Tenacity maybe a little bit more. Paravision in this half have gained the pistol and the follow-up, and that has been it. Zero Tenacity have been on their backs ever since. The scout of Artfrost getting absolutely nothing out of this half investment round, shot down by Namana. And Jerry held in the bathrooms. Will only be so long until he gets found out here. He needs that M4 of his teammates to come in with extra support because he's a goner to the firing squad of Zero Tenacity.
Yeah, the in-game leader's playing extremely well. Just constantly getting opening man advantages, putting more impressive jewels up on the tally. Even these 2 players down on towards Connector. They don't know about Oven.
They do now. But Brute knows about them the same. 2 shots to the AWP, 2 connections to 12-8. Map, match, and group point for Zero Tenacity. 4 of them to play with. And Paravision saw some of their ceilings, saw some of those heights hit during the first half, but it's back to the basics that Zero Tenacity have worked against. Four to make up. This is going to get difficult.
And this is a Zero Tenacity team, Jay, that have only made top 8 twice in the last 3 months. This would be a very good group stage run to get into the playoffs.
Zero Tenacity so fast into their defaults. Avon specifically over on short. Sprays through from the opposition. Will try and look down over at Connector. Joffro's going to escape all that damage. Minimal done in the early portions of the round.
And Patsy is high and dry by himself out towards long. Not a teammate in sight. Artfrost hasn't seen anything up on the connection. Patsy pretty much just needs to go 1 for 1.
Brute sees his contact, takes that shot and misses it. He extends a bit too far, and now he's caught by the AKs, but only for damage. No kills for Z10.
And that was well done from Zero Tenacity. Get the flash over high and put emphasis onto the rifler. For Patsy, he's pretty much not going to be required to do much from this point onwards. You can't expect him to do much from this point onwards. Maybe make an info play and at least spot info.
And perhaps he might get that. Paravision. 40 seconds on the clock for them to hold off against the execution. B site is the target. That's where the majority of CT players are. Incendiary and Beltranov heard the body block. Namana is going to get caught for damage. The kills don't come through for the man. Kicker does support him though. Namana's dropped Chopo with a kill. Only one. Avon transfers the spray back, but the nade of Artfrost opens the smoke at heaven. Turns a 1v2 now for Brute. He's ready for the engagement. Artfrost closes down a round.
Alvin actually had a mental spray transfer to the second, but the info play was too strong towards long. They knew that Patsy was there, and they knew that he was long, and obviously low, I should say. But as soon as he re-aggresses, they just stack up B so heavily. The resmoke comes down to Monster. The timing on the Incendiary is perfect. You got 2 players extremely close to Monster wall from the CT line. Paravision, with just that one walk forward from Patsy, basically win the round off of it.
1 out of 4 map points exhausted, match points exhausted. Look at how quickly they make their way out though. Straight rush through Monster. Belchanov doesn't see it coming, and the CTs are blind across the board. Kicker has vision though. He's got himself a lineup and a triple once again. Zero Tenacity locked out of the round. Parry Vision trying to hold contest in this game yet.
And I saw that out of Mirage in a couple of rounds, Jay, where they've gone in for the Monster Pot, and they've won the opening man advantage, and there's just so much util trying to be thrown. I think unnecessarily, I think maybe one at absolute most from that point onwards should be throwing nades. Everyone else should be gun up. And for Kicker, he legitimately just peeks from, what, the pit and the pillar perspective, and he just spots so many players holding out util.
Decimated them all as a result. Brute can at least find that first fight and that second pick, but not that third. 2 alive for Parry Vision. 10 on the board of Parry Vision. Zero Tenacity still have plenty of cash to buy in for this one. Should be seeing a buy in the next round as well. You can see a little bit more about how things went so awry for the T side here. Kicker. It's a wonderful sequence that really turned up the heat against the Z10 camp. 2 more in it to overtime.
To be fair, Brute Monsters actually made that very expensive at the tail end of the round, which could have ramifications if it goes all to 24, if it goes all of reg. Zero Tenacity slow it down more so, and don't just keep it B-centric. They work in from connector as 2. You've got Avon outside a Monster. Parry Vision, 2 to close to get it at least to an overtime.
I mean, I think that damage still limited some of the utility basis of Parry Vision. Belchanov, I think, only had that 1 flash. Oh, Kicker, timing so good on the peak upper connector, almost caught Brute. Doesn't quite find the frag back. The AWP is allowed to continue holding, and Parry Vision go back to passive, as do Zero Tenacity.
And this is where pressure's going to start building on the Zero Tenacity side, because they should close this. They should have closed in 2. They should be closing in 3. But yet we're still playing. We've still got a game that's live. Arvin showing some nades out there to Monster, but not drawing much of it over rotation. They're still keeping 3 players to A.
Zero Tenacity forming up for the A-site execution as well. This is the right call to make. Parry Vision ready for the execution. 30 seconds on the clock. The AWP watching the HEs come down against him, but he lands on Avon. Looks in with a second of Simkey. Patsy follows up, but Brute can take it back. He needs to get a whole lot more than Amana making his move in, and Art Frost is just taking names across the board. 23 deep, triple in that round. Parry Vision have come to life at the very tail end of this matchup. Round 24 could see overtime on the board.
Desperate for a bomb plant as well, Zero Tenacity. AWP and triple AKs being safe for Parry Vision. You're up against a strong buy. This should go to overtime. This is a tough round to win in regulation for Zero Tenacity.
Tactical called by Parry Vision. Talked about damage against the CT side that might come back to bite them. Well, Zero Tenacity have finally run out of funds. And there's 3 AKs against them. This is going to be extremely tough for Zero Tenacity. And there's another heartbreaking moment where it's like, we did so much. Maybe not enough. All to play for in round 24. Zero Tenacity, 1 round from taking the playoffs. Parry Vision, 1 round from extending us on overpass.
And Parry Vision have had to work extremely hard in these last couple of rounds to keep themselves surviving, and now they've been rewarded with the buy state. Zero Tenacity, I mean, they'll be desperate for an opening pick. AWP out there towards the park. No one at long to the early game.
Blind trades of HP bars. Kicker got the worst of it from beyond the wood wall. Nades against, hoping to catch players that extended very far up in connector. That's not to be the case for the T side. Art Frost AWP start to push forward, as does his teammate over on long. Perhaps it hunt for information, won't be able to see anything yet. They take their time with this, do Zero Tenacity.
Jerry's been calling some pretty good stacks in the last few rounds. Had 3 on A in the last. This time around, it's only 2. But he might start rotating up from heaven. Yes, he's already starting to move off of B.
That smoke on it long has convinced him. Number of players here have been too much to mount up to for Zero Tenacity. Simkey ready with his smokes, counter smokes come back, utility set and ready flashes, keeping Art Frost blinded, counting Util, Patsy in the corner though, strikes on 2, looks for the triple against Brute, and that's what he gets. Avon with a responsive, swapping up to the Galil, can make it a double. Meanwhile, Namana's inserted himself, adjustments right there for Jerry's damage. Avon needs to go back for the bomb. Is he going to rotate? Yes, he is.
Oh, that was so close to dropping Jerry. If that kill comes in, we're looking at a different round. Avon, the most experienced player on Zero Tenacity, to try and work the 1v2. At least the info will be that Jerry's low.
Plant behind the sandbags, retake is on. Everybody is tagged. Jerry the 25, Kicker at the 46. Engagement's awkward though for Avon. He doesn't hit the kill shot. Jerry keeps us alive despite his HP disadvantage. Parry Vision have taken us the whole distance. When Zero Tenacity, we're going to cut off all worries of the T side. The CT's resurge with 4 map points dismantled. We go to overtime.
And it's back-to-back chokes, unfortunately, for Zero Tenacity, and you can't blame the experience. This is a team that's been together for over 600 days as a full 5-man lineup. But it's the pressure that cracks against them. They should have taken Mirage. They should have taken Overpass in regulation. And in these kind of moments, when you're not closing down and you get pushed to overtime, sometimes it does feel as if the game's just been taken away from you now. That you had it there, you didn't take it, and now you pay the price. Now Perivision can start taking a lead, start showing that they can now close this game out.
Full send, full distance, full matchups to close out the night. LR3, 12.5K. Buys for days on both sides. Paravision on the CT side. Start, of course. Jerry boosted up. Avon has no idea. He's in danger. And there he goes.
A lovely boost to check out there towards Monster. Patsy flashed over top con, got very close as his teammate drops out to Divider. That's Art Frost with the AWP.
Surprised that Simkey could win that fight, but Patsy gets it right back. Joffo involved in the 3-on-3 rotations to the backlines of the A site. They're still in motion here. Belchanot could be seen. Indeed, Namada gets that kill, but where is Jerry? Is he as close as they think? Put utility down, Incendiary's off. Namada caught with Util in hand. 2 versus 2. The AWP naded against that smoke position. The bomb's still back over towards Park, though. This distraction has pulled everyone to the A site, so Joffo thinks he might be able to get a clean plant.
And this is now Brute Monster that can sell more distraction, at least pull some attention up here to A, force that rotation, but Kicker is not moving.
Joffo about to run right into the bomb site. Footsteps are going to get hurt. He has no idea. Damage has been done. The AK engages with a perfect headshot. And Kicker gets nothing out of that one. 1-on-2 now for Jerry, the Incendiary. He's going to get smoked off immediately. Joffo allowed to be protected as Jerry just dives himself into the bomb site, sees his man, aware roughly of where the second player is holding from. Another situation where Zero Tenacity have had to recover. Diffuse gets on him, smoke in the way. Diffuse held all the way. They got to swing, they got to spray, they got to get the kill. And they will find the start in overtime.
And how frequently do we see that, Jay? The team that struggles to close in regulation wins out the first round in overtime. It feels comical because we see it so frequently. Man, that is an insane shot from Joffo. Because I'm with ya. He got caught out in the open there. Kicker's got the jump on that fight. He taps the bomb and then just instantly swings. And he has to find that headshot straight away.
Every advantage for Kicker in that engagement, and the fact he doesn't win it is stunning to me. Has stunned Parry Vision. Down and around, lead cannot be gained by the CT force. Zero Tenacity. Front foot once again. Have their 13th round, but a round 2 later that. Magic number is 16. Can they make it happen?
And this is bait. Looking at both of these teams thinking who we're going to get. The Zero Tenacity to get the three-peat, to get the 3 best of 3s in the span of a week. Is it against Perivision, who we actually lost to in ECL main group? Experience for bait against both of these squads. Zero Tenacity working Avon out here to the short water as Joffo goes up in con.
Slow to the approach. Z10. Have that bomb outside a Monster for the B execution when it comes in if it wants to. Look at the mana inserted in over at Bathrooms. Weird crossfire set. Can he isolate either of these two players? Would he want to even do that? He did prod initially. Artfrost gives chase at the wrong moment. Timing is so perfect for the T side.
Well, I'd say it's actually not perfect at all, because it means that they've spotted out nothing towards the Bathrooms, which gives them the tell that it should be a B lane.
Patsy gets that kill as well. Third man's on the way into the bomb site. Smoke's coming back. Lives only maintained for a moment as Beltranok drops that bomb. Now Zero Tenacity have to make the moves because more players are on the way in and they are stalling this out. 23 seconds on the clock. They need to find a pick soon enough. The bomb's back on Joffo, but he doesn't get a kill for it. No trades available. Avon finally with one, but only one. The AWP overwhelmed back out towards short, 13 apiece.
Yeah, excellent info play there from Perivision. You had Patsy that went aggressive long, set up the backstab in from Party, Artfrost getting into the long side of the Bathrooms, and as soon as they catch off, first off, no vision, secondly, Namanha, they just know. Start pummeling Util, start getting nades down, smokes, incendiaries, everything that you can out there to both Monster and to short. And for Zero Tenacity, you are just desperately going to struggle to be able to open up any success, to even get the bomb down. Very strong round from Perivision.
AKs do lean in initially for Beltranok, trying to find the opening contact.
Yeah, saw the bomb at least.
Done damage to all 5 players with that HE, interestingly enough. I've never seen that before. The push forward as well from Patsy. He's going to have such a ridiculous amount of map control away from the T side. 3 players stacked up on B. Artfrost is one of them. He AWP fires away. Only gets the 1 pick for it. Joffo with a Molotov kill from beyond the grave. Namana and Brute. All that's left. AWP of Artfrost lands the mana. And the AWP just slowly being closed in upon by Patsy. Perivision refinding their confidence eventually. 14-13. They, for the first time since 8-6, have the lead.
And this hurts for Zero Tenacity. You're up 12-8, and you've come into overtime, and now you've lost the lead. Now pressure is back on you to try and be able to perform, to at least take it to another overtime. Perivision's in a very good spot. And I suppose when you do have experienced players, when you do have players to this kind of caliber, you let them back into a best-of-3 series, and they should be able to take it. They should at least be able to come successful and turn around an entire best-of-3 win.
The stubbornness of Perivision has certainly allowed them to push on with the significant back foot that they found themselves on at the start of the series. 2 rounds away from their own playoff position. Zero Tenacity to go 3 on the trot, disallow any map and match points for Perivision. Had their 4 opportunities, couldn't close them down. Going into the T side, Parry. Guns set, the AWP of Brute unable to spot them. Will try and dive the hell out of the way as the CTs try to set up a similar boost to the previous round, but not going to find anything. Avon instead, wallbang on Beltranok.
Oh, they're making so much noise about this. So Kickit just probably knows that this boost is in play. If you want to get that boost out towards Monster, you've got to do it silently. At least it's an opening man advantage. At least Avon helps out towards the A side.
Minute on the clock. Advantage still sits with Zero Tenacity. Responsives not generated by Parry Vision. No one's in mid to receive the AWP's position. It's down to the 3 players on the B defense to hold up against this execution.
Brute is still seeing nothing. He's catching no vision or even hearing anything. Another jump spot from Nemana, doesn't see anything either. Holding onto this HE could be pivotal. They've still got a smoke to go down towards Monsters. That's going to delay even more time.
Thinking there might have been players stacked up in Monster, who puts that HE in the end. And now they walk their way up towards short, set and ready to go for the execution. Kicker, shoulder, baiting, Joffo caught, switching to utility. Nemana tries to trade it back. The M4s get so much damage and finally kills start coming in for them. Backup is on its way. Up at heaven is one player, 15 seconds. Patsy is such low HP, forced to fight, forced to extend. Artfrost with one pick back, naded out of position. Nemana eventually cleans him up for the quadra. And Z10 equalize.
And that looked quite uncomfortable from Zero Tenacity, but it's the in-game leader that steps up to make sure that he puts his foot down.
25 kills, by the way.
He's playing very well. He is fragging at a very high position here for the team.
Only man to beat him is Artfrost on the other side, who's put in a shift for Paravision. But it's not been enough to push this past the finish line. Zero Tenacity. Trying to battle to regain match point once again. That would be their 5th match point in this series. Looking over and into the short position, the boost up of the AK, looking down over towards Monster, and the entryway that Kicker might have. In the end, it's not to happen. It is carefully considered by Paravision as they walk their way up long.
It's a fairly good read, though. I mean, they see nothing Monster and they see nothing short water, so that should indicate rotating a 3rd player back up to A. Flash long, no one even fires. Yes, there's a reflash back in towards the long side of the bathrooms, and the jump spot from APC would have at least seen one.
Flashes on Avon, gonna suppress for the time being. Brute, Elchinok. Looking to press, sees the shoulder, sees the man, takes that kill. And Paravision explode into life, but so does the CT side, and Brute gets his 2nd kill. Bomb seen, the man on the backside. Looking for his 27th kill in the match, but in the end, Brute continues to hold his presence with a triple. Artfrost AWP, another impossible situation that he's lumbered with. And now he is usurped as top fragger in the server. The honor goes to the captain of Zero Tenacity, who has put them up on match point once again.
That's another great sequence from the AWPer. Yes, out from DICE, the AK does do a lot for Nemana, but for Brute, he makes that info play. He gets aggressive. He doesn't make sure that he gets traded. I mean, for him to stay alive for 2 and then finish off the round with 3, he's had a great sequence to work it out.
Back in the pole position. They cannot rest, though. They need to turn this up to a victory here and now. AK, look at how fast KitKat wants to get involved in this. Simki, very good to respond, keeps it in an even stance.
Very aggressive, and Jerry's running long. Now, he's not going to be heard by any of the A players, so he actually might be able to exploit a massive gap.
Alan's going to get right to position, though. M4 swings for the directive fight, and he wins it. Paravision recognizing that gap in the defense and thought that they could exploit it, but that fight being won has taken away their one advantage. 4-on-3 for Z10.
Joffo and Simki down here on the B side, boost up. Oh, this should be a kill for Patsy. Timing is good for 1.
Simki going to wait for backup to make its way in and starting to push the issue, trying to get rotations back over at Heaven. Utility sent. Look at Simki here as well. Chance to make his way forward. Flash sent. He kills off 1. Spray through on Belchanon's, caught him as well. Frost again in the clutch, but he can't do it this time. 16-14. At long last, Zero Tenacity close out this series. It should have been one on Mirage. It should have been one in regulation of Overpass, but it's one in the end. They made their way to the playoffs.
And they deserve it. I actually think it would have been extremely upsetting if they didn't win this best of 3. Because you are right. They should have won Mirage. They should have closed it out when it was 12-8. They were the much stronger team today in this best of 3. And they're in the playoffs. They're in their 3rd top 8 in the last 3 months. This, I know is a group that we've been kind of outlying as one of the weaker ones in the comp, but from the perspective of Zero Tenacity, this is back-to-back best of threes that get you into a playoff position.
100%, I have to agree. That really is the bottom line for them. It doesn't really matter about the circumstances from their perspective of who is in that group. You play the team that are in front of you, and you have to take those victories. In this case, they did take their victories, beating out Paravision and making their way as the top team in Group B. For the CIS squad, obviously, it's going to be a concerning situation now for Bate's side of things, because that is a match I could see them losing out, especially when you take a look at the series in totality. Yes, things got very blow for blow towards the end, but you think about how flat they were looking on that Anubis. The fact that Mirage, their 4 rounds on the T side, came down to pistols and conversions. And even in this matchup, right, think about how the streaks had started off. It came down to damage and an eco steal that allowed them to get into Overpass in the first place.
And for Paravision, they get a bit of a rematch. They played Bait about 5-6 weeks ago, which was in that 5-0 group stage they had in ECL. So I'm sure Bait are kind of looking at this group and thinking, oh, we've had the bit of the one-up against Zero Tenacity in one official, but they're not in the other. Now they get a chance of playing a rematch against Paravision and hopefully trying to see if they can just allow themselves to move forward into the playoffs.
The side of match that certainly has a lot riding on it for both of those teams, obviously. But for tomorrow, we continue to roll on with the elimination and advancement matches in Group C and D. Tomorrow we've got Alternate Attacks versus Enterprise Permitter versus Nexus Bleed versus Mouse NXT and Passion UA versus Young Ninjas. I want to keep your eyes on those second set of matches there, but because Bleed and Young Ninjas, the only teams involved that are in the top 4 of the rest circuit standings.
Yeah, Bleed are playing incredibly well. They've obviously officially signed Vladen into the roster. I saw that Young Ninjas have just added in a new Polish player, 17 years old, that's never played pro before. So definitely some moving pieces in some of the best of threes that we've got tomorrow.
Very exciting to see how far they can go with those ones. Of course, all continuing on from the same time, same place here on the Rest European Series. So a lot to look forward to over the next week. And obviously for today, for Zero Tenacity, a lot to look forward to them when they make it to the playoffs. But we will focus on the rest of our promotion games tomorrow. So we'll see you back then. We'll see you back here tomorrow for even more of the Rest European Series.
Hello, son.
Hi, Mom.
Pretty girl.
This is Eva.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much. Your dad's just making his favourite dinner. It's duck. Come on inside. They're all probably too gruesome to tell you while you're eating at the table. How's your food? Is everything okay? Good, good. You seem to know each other.
Yeah. This is the new ambassador for 1xBet.
Oh, I see.
Everyone felt good when Eva Elfie became the new ambassador of 1xBet.